Grande Center for Spiritual Living, una otra vez en mi casa. We're so glad to be here one last time in our home. We're so glad you're here this beautiful Sunday after Thanksgiving. And this morning, we're going to start with a beautiful song by Michael Gott.
Vessel to be used, whatever spirit needs of me, I will be, I will be, I will be. Here I stand, my heart is here to serve. Wherever love is leading me, I will go, I will go, I will go. Here I am, a vessel to be used. Whatever spirit needs of me, I will be, I will be, I will be. Here I stand, heart is here to serve. Wherever love is leading me, I will go, I will go, I will go. Wherever love is leading me, I will go, I will go, I will go.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That was beautiful. Good morning. Welcome to the Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living. We've been waiting for you. Today we have a wonderful topic. We are still at home today for 2 weeks, and then next week we are going to be back in our beautiful sanctuary, conducting our service from there. And so I'm happy that you're here today. Our talk later on is called Constructive, in scare quotes, criticism, helpful or not. And so we also have so many people that are helping us here today. My name is Reverend Martha Quintana. I'm the senior minister at the Rio Grande Center, and I'm so happy that you're here today. Also in service today, our invocation is by Marilyn O'Leary. We have High Watchers, and High Watchers are people, are practitioners who sit and bless our service the entire time. Bless every single person who's a part of this. Bless every aspect of our center. And our High Watchers today are Marge Larguete, Teresa Greco. We also have Kathy Mathias and Julia Washington. Thank you so much. Greg Gardner. And so we are all here, and there are several others who are just holding high watch for us. And so I appreciate that very much. We are a center for spiritual living, and we are affiliated with the Centers for Spiritual Living out of Golden, Colorado. It is a group of over 400 centers around the world who study the science of mind. And here at the Rio Grande Center, we have been in business for about 11 years, and we have our vision and our mission. Our vision is transforming our world with the power of love in action. And our mission is loving all creation through growth and through spiritual growth and service, always staying true to our highest self. So thank you for being with us today. All right, with that, I would like to invite Marilyn O'Leary in to do our invocation. Thank you, Marilyn.
Thank you, Reverend Martha. Oh, I'm so happy to be here today. As I was meditating this morning, the word that came to me was strength. And I know that God, Spirit, divinity is strength. And at this time where sometimes I feel tired, I feel like this pandemic has gone on forever, I know that my strength is in spirit and I can go on. I can do what I must do. I can live a beautiful spirit-informed life with the guidance of spirit, with the strength of spirit, with vitality, with inspiration, with creativity. And this is true for me, and I know this is true for every person who is listening to this now or who will be listening to this. And knowing that that strength, it comes from spirit, I know that it is limitless. It is always here for us, and we are blessed by it. And so I bless every person who has taken part in this service today, who is taking part in it. I bless the musicians. I bless Ken and A and Andrew and Kamatara for the wonderful music we have. I bless Reverend Martha for her message, for all that she does for us. I bless the board for their work on behalf of the center. I bless the practitioners for what they do. I bless the bookstore. I bless the newsletter that keeps us connected and who does the newsletter. And I bless all the people who are planning and doing things for this season, for this beautiful Christmas season, who are planning gifts for people, who are planning services for us, who are keeping us together and connected. They are all blessed. I bless the sound people and the tech people, because without them, we would not be able to come to you. I bless every single person involved in this. I bless all the people who are listening and who will listen to this service. And so knowing that we are together, we are connected, we are united in spirit, I affirm our strength, our power, our abundance, our health. I affirm all of this coming from divine spirit. And as we are blessed, and as this service is blessed, we also go out to the world as a blessing. As we are loved, we are loved. And we know and rest in that in peace. And so it is.
Thank you for that, Marilyn. That was very profound. Beautiful. Thank you. You know, somebody that I didn't mention when I was calling out all our helpers, one of the persons behind the scenes, and my God, she does so much, is Carmela Herrera. She helps us with the Facebook page. She helps us staff the center. She has just been so fabulous. And CJ Barkley in the office has also been fabulous. Anjali is amazing. So during the week, we have so many people who come here to our center or come to our center to help. And I'm just so grateful for them. Gwyneth, Nandi, Carol Armijo. We have so many people who just who come through. So if I didn't say your name, it's not because I don't want to. It's just in this moment there are so many people that are helping us. Pat and Keith in the Giving Tree, and we'll talk a little bit more about that a little later. The community outreach team. Oh my gosh, the board. We have a really nice group, and I'm so grateful for all of you. So it's time for our reading, and today's reading is taken from The Art of Life by Ernest Holmes. And so he says, "Don't be discouraged if it takes a little time to gain the inner understanding you desire. The time you spend will be more than worthwhile. Your first step is to come to a more complete realization of who and what you are. The next step is to enter into a more definite understanding of your relationship with the power. Your final step is to use the power for yourself and others. Start at once affirming your God-given dominion over anything which contradicts the nature of life. Rearrange your thought to conform to the belief that you are one with all the power and all the presence there is. It is flowing through you as health, happiness, and success. Bless everything you do. Take the restrictions off your efforts and announce them to be prosperous, good, and perfect. Know that the power is flowing through you creatively in the direction which your attention gives to it. Begin right where you are. Don't wait until you get an understanding as big as a house or as broad as an ocean or as deep as a well. Thank you. And that's The Art of Life, pages 97 and 98. So The Art of Life. Thank you. All right. And now it's time to turn the service back over to our amazing band. And so here they are. Kamatara.
Thanks, Reverend Martha. So we've got a feel-good favorite from Fleetwood Mac for you today. And if any of you have ever been to our house for a party, you know that this is actually what our house just kind of sounds like, although it hasn't been able to sound like this for 2020. We've been kind of missing this. So it just makes me really happy that we're all going to you're at this party in my house right now, and we're going to play this music, and we're just going to have a great time. So thank you for being here today. All right, Daddy, you want to count us off?
If you wake up and don't want to smile, if it takes just a little while, open your eyes and look at the sky. You see the things in the different ways. Stop thinking about tomorrow. Stop, it'll soon be here. It'll be better than before. Yesterday's gone. Yesterday's gone. Why not think about the times past? Not about the things that you've done. If your life was right to you, such things that tomorrow will do. Don't stop thinking about tomorrow. Don't stop, it'll soon be here. It'll be better than before. Yesterday's gone. Yesterday's gone. All I want is to see you smile. If it takes just a little while, I know you don't believe it's true. I never meant any harm to you. Don't stop thinking about tomorrow. Don't stop, it'll soon be here. It'll be better than before. Yesterday's gone. Yesterday's gone. Don't stop thinking about tomorrow. Don't stop, it'll soon be here. It'll be better than before. Yesterday's gone. Yesterday's gone. Ooh, don't you look back. Ooh, don't you look back. Oh, yeah. Ooh, don't you look back. Oh, don't you look back.
Thank you. Beautiful. I appreciate that. Good morning. As you know, we've been reading the book, A Complaint-Free World, and we are and we are in the thick of it. So today we're talking about constructive criticism. Is it helpful or not? So here's the thing. There's no such thing as hope. It's only desire. Not hope, but desire. For desire creates the framework of our lives. And that is what we are seeking, the framework of our life. It colors our life, it informs our life, the desire. So when something does not happen, for example, if someone is lonely, they'll say, gosh, I'm so lonely. But it's only because desire has not been manifested. So we stay with the desire and we allow the desire. It's the desire that's coloring our life. It's coloring each person's life. And so what we look to is we began to see the desire is the love that we wish to attract into our life. Love is always happening. And so if we stay in that faith, if I stay in that faith that love is always happening and that my desire will be made manifest, no matter the appearance, this is good news for us, yes, as religious scientists, because no matter the appearance, I am moving toward my desire. So if I bless the situation, and we know that, if I bless the situation, it becomes more apparent. If I criticize, that becomes apparent too. Ernest Holmes tells a story in his article, Bless or Curse Not, about a client that he had who came to him who was a famous movie star. And the movie star came to him and he said, I'm not getting any work. I'm just not. Nobody's hiring me. I don't know why. And Holmes knew that this guy had a reputation for being hard to work with. And he said, well, what do you think's happening? What's happening over there? And he goes, oh, I get there and the director doesn't know what they're doing. My coworkers, they haven't memorized their lines. Everything is just a shambles. And I want it to be different. And I'm trying to be helpful. And Ernest Holmes listened and he said, here's what happens. When you complain or you criticize everybody or you get there thinking that they're not doing their best, you are cursing the situation. He said, what if, let's just try an experiment. What if you blessed the entire situation, that you met people right where they were and you blessed them, that you try to be as helpful as you could possibly be, and you started to bless that person. So he said the man went out and he did that. And by the end of his career, he was one of the most sought after actors that he had ever met. So in our book today, there's constructive criticism. You know, when somebody says, can I give you a little constructive criticism? Outside, you might go, well, sure, okay, whatever. But inside, you're going, no way, I don't want to be criticized. And if you think about it, constructive criticism is an oxymoron. Construct is to build up. Criticism is to tear down. So what are you left with? You're left with criticism. And no one likes to be criticized because as Bowen points out, our author points out, a criticism is an attack. A criticism is an attack. So if we attack someone, they may not attack us right back, but the war is on, no? The war is on because they might be passive aggressive, start spreading rumors. So the criticism doesn't get us where we want to go. In fact, criticism doesn't allow anyone to be different. The key is that I have to treat someone in the way that, not that we hear it all the time, the way I want to be treated, but no, it's the way they want to be treated. I mean, most of us, don't we, want to be treated with respect, with courtesy, kindness, regard, most of us. But when we don't treat people that way, then that's what invites the criticism. I had a good friend who had a near-death experience many years ago, and she was telling me about it, and she said that when she first died, she rose up and she could see her family and her friends all around her running to help her. And so she continued on, and she got to the end of this tunnel, and she realized, she looked up at the tunnel and realized she didn't know how to walk up the tunnel. So she gave herself some legs, and she began to walk up the tunnel. And she began to meet people, she said, and realized that she didn't know how to interact with them. So she gave each person she met a body. And by the time she got up to the end of the tunnel, she said she met Jesus, and that was who she met for herself. She met Jesus, and Jesus told her it wasn't time for her to be here yet, or to go there yet. And so she came back, and she's been incredibly successful ever since then. But what struck me about her body, about her story, was that she said that she gave everybody a body. And I realized when I heard her story that I do the same thing. All of us do that. In order to interact with somebody, we give them a body. And if the body is my own construct, objectified outside of me so that I can interact with it, and if I am criticizing this body that I've now put out in front of me to interact with it, then who am I criticizing? Who am I cursing? I'm cursing myself because it's my own construct. Conversely, if I put a body out there and I bless it, and I bless each person I meet, and I bless them in the way that they want to be blessed, then I become the blessing. I'm blessing who I think this person is. Good, bad, or indifferent, I'm always blessing who this person is because it is a construct of mine that's out here. So bless you, bless you, bless you in everything that you say and do. Bless you, bless you. And we begin to treat people in the way that they want to be treated, because criticism does not get the best out of people. When my daughter was in first grade, for the first 2 weeks that she was in first grade, she would get in the car every night and she'd say, "Mom, I pulled an orange tag today." And the orange tag apparently was when you had done 2 things wrong, you had to go pull a tag. And so after a couple of weeks of pulling a tag every night, she said, "Aren't you mad at me, Mom? Aren't you mad at me for pulling an orange tag every day?" And I said, "No, it must not feel very good to get the orange tag." And she said, "No, it doesn't feel good at all." So the next morning when we were going to school, she did something. She says, "Mom, could you do a prayer for me today that I don't pull an orange tag, that I go through the whole day without a tag?" So I said, "Okay." And we did the prayer, and that night she got into the car. She was so excited. She said, "I didn't pull a tag today." So it wasn't that she was hoping to pull a tag, it's that she desired not to do it. And once the desire was made manifest, she was able to see that love was actually on her side. And from then on, she began to know what it was that she needed to do, not to pull not only a literal tag, but often in school, the proverbial tag, because if you do something wrong, right? So all of the criticism begins to come at that moment. So she was pulling. So if I had said to her, "Oh yeah, you shouldn't be pulling that tag anymore," well, she'd have felt even worse, because she already knew that she wasn't doing what she needed to do. Most people are self-correcting. Most people are self-correcting if we allow them to correct themselves. If we put that construct out there so that we're interacting with that construct, most people are self-correcting, and they will show up in the way that is the highest and the best, because it's part of it. And finally, Bowen talks about sarcasm. Now, this has been one that has, because I grew up with sarcasm and we got really good at sarcasm. But sarcasm it comes from anger. And often we'll use it to dismiss what we just said. So people will say, oh, well, I was just kidding, I didn't mean anything by it. I was just kidding. But you know that they meant something by it because the sarcasm of it was there. And the thing about sarcasm is it has an etymology that's pretty severe. It's a negative comment, and it says the meaning of sarcasm is a sharp and often satirical or ironic utterance designed to cut or give pain. A cutting, sharp, ironic remark intended to wound. The Latin root of sarcasm is sarco, which means tearing of the flesh. Looking further into this sarcasm stemmed from sarcasmos or sarcasian, which means ripping or tearing of the flesh. In ancient times, it was literally used as a form of torture. So here we are with verbally, we're trying to do that. And finally, Bowen says, in Africa, there is a culture that doesn't know about sarcasm. It's not even part of their language. They don't know how to do it. And he concludes that, he says, this correlates, the ability to not be sarcastic, correlates with the overall happiness. That the people in Africa, this particular group in Africa, think that taking your burden and placing it on another's shoulder does not lessen your unhappiness, but adds it to the listener. Criticism and sarcasm are two of the most insidious forms of complaining. Watch how often you criticize or make a sarcastic remark, and when you do, he says, switch your bracelet. So today, watch for desire. What is it, my desire? How is it that my desire is shaping my outlook? Am I getting what I desire? Am I feeling compelled to criticize the way somebody does something? Or am I feeling compelled to think negatively about someone? Are we blessing or are we cursing? So this week, let's bless everyone. Namaste. Thank you for being here. Oh, it's time for our prayer, and I would ask all the practitioners, wherever you are, to please stand with me. Surround this beautiful community with your wonderful energy. As we know, in this moment, there's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is eternal and immortal. That life is everywhere, equally present. It is peace, love, joy, happiness. It is everything. And I am one with this life. I am one with it, for I can never, ever be separate from it. I am one with its desire, one with its love and joy, happiness, peace, beauty, truth. I am one with it. And as I know this for me, I know this for everyone in this moment on this call. I know it for all the people who are yet to see this Sunday morning broadcast. And for every single person, each is life. And for every person, life is peace, joy, happiness, health, prosperity, goodness, grace, divine unfoldment. Each person is that. And I affirm and declare for everyone here the perfect blessing. I proclaim a blessing so profound that every single person moves into that blessing and is completely restored and revitalized. The blessing wells up from inside each body, and with such a ferocity that it heals every cell in our bodies. It goes out beyond the person expressing this blessing into the community, and suddenly from this beautiful blessing inside every person, the entire world is blessed. And into the circle of blessing, I call our friend Toby Pope, and know that he is blessed, and that there is a blessing so profound that he is carried back into health, that he is carried into that place of absolute joy and good, and the knowing that he is profoundly loved. I surround his family, Liz, his wife, and his children, and the rest of his family, knowing that each are blessed as well. And it is to this community, to our joy, that we lend a blessing. And I give thanks. I give thanks for every single person on this call today. I give thanks for the profound blessing that we are together. I give thanks for the complaint-free world that we have created, that the light we are in this world. I give thanks that there is already a cure for the coronavirus and that our world is returned to its new normal, that the best and highest of each of us is already here. I give thanks for our center, for its profound prosperity. I give thanks for all of us working together to create a world that works for everyone, and knowing that this is already done. I release my word, knowing it cannot come back to me void, knowing that as I've spoken, it is done. And so it is. Amen. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. So now is the time during our service when we share our abundance. And today we are fortunate in that we have a member of our pledge team, Rebecca Taylor, who wants to tell us about why it is important for her to be prosperous and to give to our center. Welcome, Rebecca.
Thank you, Reverend Martha, and good morning, everybody. I'll be so glad when we can be back together again because I sure do miss my hugs. So I just want to give you kind of a little history. When I found the Science of Mind, it was in the early 90s, and I wasn't ready to embrace this philosophy. And I sort of drifted away. Now, during that drift, if you will, I did a lot of therapy and I watched a whole lot of Super Soul Sunday. But I discovered that there was more. There just had to be more. So I started my search, and eventually I found the Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living. That was about 3 years ago. Now, for me, RGCSL was where I first saw the face of God. And it was in that moment that I knew that God lives and moves and breathes and has being in everything. Now, when I started attending RGCSL, it was during the pledge campaign. Now, as a side note, some of you know that I am a recovered alcoholic, drug addict, and I'm also a recovered Southern Baptist. The one thing Southern Baptists love to do is talk about tithing. And unfortunately for me, that's all I ever heard was just the talk. But there was something different for me when I heard Reverend Martha talk about tithing. There was passion. There was conviction, and there was a deep sense of belief. And this time I listened and I heard. And I started tithing. At first it was on, the usual 10%, what I take home. And then it was the whole enchilada. I thought, why not? And things started to happen. Things started to change in my life. Not anything I could really put my finger on, because I don't think that's the way it's meant to work. It's kind of in retrospect, you see the change, because I'm one of those people, I want to know what's happening and when it's happening and how it's going to happen and what it's going to look like, and unfortunately, or fortunately, God doesn't always let me in on his plans. So I know that my works, the tithing that does far more than I would ever be able to do, the tithing that I give to RGCSL. And one thing that I did learn, one thing I like to borrow from my friend Oprah, is one thing I know for sure is tithing works. Namaste. Now, as a member of the Pledge Campaign Committee, I do want to extend an invitation to everyone to join us on December the 13th at 11 a.m. That's right after service, and we're going to have a Zoom party. It is our homecoming, and I think that you're going to really enjoy it. We're going to be sending out an invitation via email, and it'll have the link there for you to join us. We have a lot of spectacular entertainment lined up, so please mark that date on your calendar, invite your family, invite your friends. Just come and have a good time with us. It's my first time to do a Zoom party, so as I said, there's some interesting things that are going to happen. So thank you all very much, and enjoy your Sunday.
Thank you, Rebecca. And thank you for your donations. You know, we there will be the board will be coming out a little bit later, and so if you can be generous right now, please do. Our community is it's struggling just a little bit financially, but we're a success story waiting to happen again. The quality of the people here is amazing. The missions, the things we're working on are amazing. So please be part of that. Thank you so much. All right. With that, I will turn over our service to our wonderful musicians.
Good to be back, and we're going to do for you one of John Mayer's earlier songs. John Mayer is a great guitarist, great songwriter, and this song's all about 2020. This is not the time in our life to do things ourselves. Take all of your wasted honor, every little past frustration. Take all of your so-called problems, better put them in quotation. Say what you need to say, 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 say what you need to say. Walking like a one-man army, fighting with the shadows in your head, living out the same old moment, knowing you'd be better off instead. You say what you need to say, 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 say what you need to say. Have no fear for giving in. Have no fear for giving over. You better know that in the end it's better to say too much than never to say what you need to say again. Even if your hands are shaking and your faith is broken, even as the eyes are closing, do it with a heart wide open. Say what you need to say, 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 say what you need to stay.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for your donations. Thank you for your generosity. I really appreciate it. We're able to keep our doors open and our band employed and our office help, everything. So thank you. I really appreciate you. And most importantly, we're able to get this message out about science of mind. I really love that. I love the fact that we're able to do that together. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And in this moment, I bless every donation. I know that it goes out into the world to do our bidding, that it multiplies tenfold out there, that all people might know about the science of mind. And conversely, it goes back to the giver, that each dollar in each person's private bank accounts multiplies 10 million, 20 million fold as well. That each person might know the abundance of the universe, feel the goodness and the security of their own consciousness, and know that each is well. So knowing all is well, I give thanks for that, and so it is. All right, so if you're new today, thank you, thank you, thank you. I am so grateful you're here. Please come back or go to our website, rgcsl.org, and there you'll find a little more about us. So again, we are a Center for Spiritual Living, and we practice the science of mind, or the nature of the divine. So thanks for being here. We have so many things going on. As Rebecca mentioned, on December the 13th, we are having our 11th. Can you believe it? It's a palindromic birthday, 1-1. So we are having our 11th birthday, and the pledge team has been working so hard to put together a beautiful party for us on Zoom. So we're doing all sorts of new things that we never thought we'd have to do before, but we're doing it, and it's so perfect, and I love it. Thank you. Also, Michelle's giving tree is still happening. The community outreach team is out there getting presents. You still have time to donate. Again, go to our website. You can click on there, and you can see what gifts that you might want to give to a family that could use a better Christmas this year. We've also partnered with the Rio Grande Center, and the board voted to donate over $500 to families that have some food insecurity. So thank you to our board for doing that. We have so many other things going on. Christmas Eve is happening. We are going to be doing at the end of the year, and you'll hear more about this, at the end of the year, we'll be joining with the entire world to do our world peace meditation. So life's good. Life is really good. So thank you for being here with us today. I really appreciate and love you. Until then, namaste.
Trees are green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, I think to myself, what a wonderful